Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. While we're waiting for the others to join, I have a few questions to you, which you can answer in the chat. From where are you joining? Where in the world are you? And related to this, what time is it for you? Hello, everyone who joined recently. We have two questions for you to interact a little bit, to get warmed up. Where are you joining from and what time is it for you? And then I have a third question. Italy, buonasera. Germany, 4 p.m.
Hi,
Buonasera.
Edinburgh, good afternoon. Hello, Hubert.
Oh,
India, Arul Prakash. Egypt, welcome.
at Toulouse.
Wow.
Bonjour.
7:30 in India, of course, Romania. Good afternoon, welcome. Well, and the third
Hello.
question, good afternoon. Dobry večer. And the third question is, how confident are you with ASPICE on a scale from 1 to 5? 1 meaning, you know, word ASPICE and that's it. And 5, you are an expert on ASPICE. I've seen some names I would rate as a 5s. Welcome everyone who joined recently. We have a few questions for you, which we would like you to answer in the chat. Where are you joining from in the world and what time is it for you? And the third question is, on a scale from 1 to 5, how confident are you with ASPICE? Yes, Alexander, 5. Alexander, okay, 5. So then you can judge the ASPICE, the AI tool, how good the answers are. Jakob 4, okay. 2 to 3, okay. Let's wait 1 or 2 more minutes for the people to join.
Again, it is not asking for.
So again, the question for those who joined recently, Beate 4.5, okay, that's very precise. Hi, Thomas. Welcome everyone to this webinar on AI that speaks ASPICE. We have a few questions to you. Where are you joining from? What time is it for you? And how confident are you with ASPICE on a scale from 1 to 5? Alwyn 5, wow, many experts here. Casimir 3, yes, okay. Many people from India. Ankara, okay. Doesn't stop. Okay, it gets quieter. Some people might join late. So welcome everybody to this webinar on AI that speaks ASPICE. We have a few rules which we like you to follow during the presentation. First of all, technically you can unmute yourself. As we have heard already, but please stay muted during the presentation until the Q&A session at the end. If you decide to unmute yourself, please be advised this session is being recorded. As mentioned, we will have a Q&A session at the end. We will be happy to answer as many questions as possible. We might not be able to answer all of the questions, but we will collect them, and maybe we will send them after the webinar in the recap. So we will collect them, and we might pick a few questions in the Q&A session. If you want to ask a question during the Q&A session, please raise your hand. We will call you, and then you can ask the question. Thank you very much for the understanding. And let's start with an overview of what we will do today. Maybe some of you might remember we did a webinar in January, and we did a live demo. We asked ChatGPT, can you create a configuration management plan which is compliant to ASPICE? And it took me a few minutes to slice down the document. ChatGPT failed completely. And then we started thinking, can we do better? Can we build an AI tool that actually understands the concepts behind ASPICE? So what we will do today, first I will talk about the challenge with ASPICE in general and the challenge of AI applying to ASPICE and why generic tools like ChatGPT or Perplexity fail. Then Dorian, my guest today, will explain the technology behind our tool, and then we will do what you are all waiting for. We will do a live demo of the tool. And as mentioned, then we have a Q&A. You can ask the questions in the chat before. As I said, we will pick the question in the Q&A session. So let me start with a short introduction of my guest today, Dorian Müller. He is an AI engineer, founder, and the kind of person who was building AI agents long before the world knew it needed them. Dorian holds a Master of Science in Engineering Informatics from Technical University Ilmenau, specializing in cognitive systems. He started his career at EDAC in Lindau, where he helped build the autonomous driving engine for the CityBot project, fusing computer vision with LiDAR and radar technology to make machines see and navigate the real world. From there, Dorian went much deeper into the AI stack, mastering transformer architectures, machine learning, NLP, and computer vision. He has developed LLM-powered applications and AI agents long before ChatGPT made them household topics like today. With nearly 4 years of industry experience across the automotive and insurance sectors, Dorian has led and delivered high-impact AI projects from autonomous driving systems to enterprise-grade large language models applications. Through his company, DMC App Studio, he helps startups and enterprises turn ambitions into market-ready products, which I can confirm. Together with me, Dorian is building an AI-powered assistant that combines knowledge graphs with GraphRec technology to make deep expert knowledge truly accessible. And this is exactly what we will see today.
Thank you, Ron, for this kind introduction, and thank you for having me today here. I'm really excited to hear today and to show you what we have building together. But let me also say a few words about Ron. Just some brief words about him, because some of you may already know him and are very familiar with him. But for those who aren't, this is Ronald Melster, known in the automotive world simply as Ron, as the principal ASPICE assessor. He helps organizations, projects, and people achieve their goals. He focuses on balancing structure and standardization with pragmatism and efficiency. Ronald is more than just an assessor. He's a mentor, coach, and sparring partner, helping people not just to understand ASPICE, but truly embrace it. He has collaborated with Bosch, Carmack, Nippon, Audi, Porsche, and HERE, influencing hundreds of professionals. And one of his biggest achievements was leading a Bosch development division with 7,000 engineers worldwide to capability level 3. Since the early 2000s, Ronald has been working in the automotive industry and became one of Europe's longest serving ASPICE assessors in 2005. For him, assessments are more than just ratings. They are about empowering teams and explaining the why behind processes. His journey began in the 90s when he studied computer science in Berlin and Edinburgh. Initially passionate about coding, he soon discovered software engineering processes from defining software requirements to modular development and process optimization.
Thank you, Dorian, for the warm introduction. Let's start with the challenge and one of the reasons why you might be here. Over the time, ASPICE has become very complex. I don't need to tell you, we have literally hundreds of pages of standards, normative requirements, and they don't tell you how to implement this. They tell you what you need to achieve. And to make it even worse, the world is evolving very fast. Most of you are still working with PAM 3.1, I assume, trying to get to level 1, to level 2, maybe level 3. But the OEMs started asking for PAM 4.0. So we as community must migrate from 3.1 to 4.0. And to make it even worse, PAM 4.1 and the respective VDI guidelines are in the pipeline already. And you as a consultant or as a team leader or as a team, you need to know all of these concepts which are depicted on the slides. And you need to know how they interact. Or you can seek help, or you can waste a lot of effort and money and time by doing it in the wrong way. Of course, you could hire a consultant, or nowadays you can ask AI. By asking your favorite AI tool like ChatGPT, this tool will be happy to answer any of your questions regarding ASPICE. But the question is, can you trust it? Or, wrong slide, so. Can you trust it? Or is ChatGPT making things up? We have all been there. So the challenge for the less experienced amongst us is to recognize what is made up by the AI and what is reliable and what can you trust. Of course, you could be smart and upload the PAM, which is publicly available, to ChatGPT. The result will get a little bit better. Still, the AI does not know how to implement ASPICE in practice in general. So the question is, can we do better? And we believe, we are confident, yes, we can. And how do we know? We build the tool and then we compare the results, the questions and the answers with ChatGPT and our tool ASPICE Pro. Here's one example, a fairly simple question. How should we structure our unit test strategy to fully cover SW4 unit verification in practice? And the answer of ChatGPT, at this time at least, was citing all the base practices, starting with base practice 1, 2. It's boring, and the question is, what does this citing of the base practice has to do with the verification strategy? Of course, you need to consider all of the base practice, but you need to find a concept first and a strategy. The next, what ChatGPT came up with was, you must define dynamic and static testing. Okay. Maybe the expert can tell me, what does this even mean, combined dynamic and static testing or verification? In general, the tool suite for static verification and dynamic testing is completely different. What you could do or could expect is that the results are combined on the reporting level. Maybe ChatGPT wants to propose this. And if you asked any AI tool about Automotive SPICE, it will always come up with, you must ensure bidirectional traceability. It doesn't tell you what you need to trace, which artifacts you need to trace. And it forgets about consistency completely, but you must ensure traceability. In this case, for example, we have lots of traces from the test cases, SW4, to the detailed design or the source code, the test logs, the test reports. So there are many traces, but ChatGPT will not tell about this. And here's my favorite one. Alexander, you will like this. That ChatGPT says, you must define coverage target per ASIL. Okay, where is this coming from? I looked it up. SW4, ASPICE does not say anything about ASIL in the SW4 process. And again, the question is, what does it mean, coverage targets? Are we talking about test coverage? Are we talking about design coverage? It's very vague and it does not help. While our tool, I start in the middle, says you need to define the unit explicitly. This is one of my first questions I ask in an interview, as stated before. What is your unit? Is it the C function? Is it the C file, a method, a class? What is your definition of unit? You must define this. And you must document this as part of your unit verification strategy. Otherwise, we don't know what we are talking about. And next concept our tool proposes, based on the best practices, is to define criteria when SW4 is successful and can hand over to the next process, in this case SW5. And some more best practices which come from the practice, can the developer verify their own units? And it's a common practice that it's permitted, assuming that there are clearly defined criteria. When is the unit verification successful? It must be objective, it must be comprehensible, and it must be documented that the criteria are met at a certain state. And many people are not aware of this, that you can save time, because the level 2 of SW3, detailed design and implementation, is the same as unit verification in many aspects, because you define quality criteria, you define the methods, how to verify the quality criteria, and then you do the qualification, which is the purpose of the unit verification process. So this is one example, and another comparison we did with a specialized ASPICE tool. I have no idea if this tool is still available. The author of this tool claims to be an expert in, but the result, we fed this question to the tool: what work products do I need for SW3 at level 2? And it came up with wrong work products IDs, got everything mixed up, confuses process attributes with work products, and not even listed the generic practices which are needed for level 2. I will skip the comparison because we will feed this question to the tool live later on. So the question is, how does the magic work, Dorian?
So let me just demonstrate it on a visualization that depicts what approach we choose to actually answer your questions on a deep level. So how does this actually work? On the left, you see the question and the ASPICE entities tool recognized. Here is an example, SPE3, level 2, and the work products. In the center is a knowledge graph. Every ASPICE process, every work product, every relationship, all connected. And on the right, you see the confidence score. We've chosen 4 metrics here. So I will explain it in a minute. But as you see here, we have a confidence score, but we don't only have this score, but actually we can see why we can trust or if we cannot trust the answer. And in this case, maybe you have to consult an expert because you want to trust the tool. This is fundamentally different from just feeding a PDF into ChatGPT, since a PDF just gives you flat text. Also classical rec, like most companies or most companies offer you, and this is not giving you structure and the relationships that's actually needed for you in your context. Let me show you what's actually happening here. So here's a question from the example that Ron mentioned. What work products do I need at level 2 for this special process SPE3? This is a very simple question, but let me walk you through what the tool actually does with it. The first thing it does before any search is read the question and pull out the ASPICE concepts, as I mentioned, not as search terms, but as entities it actually knows about. And this is why. The knowledge graph with every ASPICE process, every work product, every relationship, all connected. And when you feed a PDF into ChatGPT, you get flat text. This is something fundamentally different. For step 1, the agent maps your question to actual nodes in the graph. It finds SPE3, it finds maybe also level 2, and it knows exactly what these mean in ASPICE. Not just as words, but in terms of where they sit in the whole framework. Step 2 is where it gets interesting. The agent decides how to answer, and that decision is not fixed. It depends on the question. For this simple question, for example, it says, I need 2 things. I need to search the documents with semantic search to find the relevant context. This can be enough, but maybe it also says, I need to query the graph to find formal relationships. A similar question might only need one of those. So a more complex one might loop back and do this several times. So first, semantic search. It finds 4 sections in the knowledge base, for example, that are relevant to the question. But here's the thing, embeddings are great for finding related text, but they cannot tell you which work products SPE3 formally outputs. That's the structural questions, and many LLMs get this wrong. So the agent is not done yet. Now, as you see on the graph, the agent queries the knowledge graph directly, starting at SPE3, following the output relationships, finding every connected work product one hop at a time. This is exactly how an experienced assessor would think through it. And it's something no keyword search, no embedding search can replicate. In the end, it brings both together as the document results and the graph results. If they agree, the score goes up. If something in the graph is not backed by your documents or vice versa, that tension shows up in the confidence score on the right. So let me do a short confidence breakdown. I want to spend just a moment on this because I think it's one of the most useful things our tool does. So the source quality shows us how reliable are the entities the agent used. Were they reviewed and confirmed by human? It can be. We also do this in some measure, or still freshly extracted. And also, how sure was the LLM when generating the entities in the knowledge graph? Then we have the query relevance. How closely do the retrieved sections actually match what was asked? Then the source coverage. Did we find one document mentioning this, or 3 independent sources all saying the same thing? So the more documents actually prove the assertions made in the answer, the better for the quality. Lastly, the document grounding. Is this answer actually coming from the knowledge base, or is the model filling gaps? This is meant to actually measure hallucination. Hallucination is one of the biggest problems because if an LLM doesn't know the answer, it will just guess. It just wants to give you an answer. It won't tell you, I don't know. It will say you anything. And this is what we want to avoid by telling you, no, I actually used knowledge I can't prove in the documents. So here, I'm not sure of it. So the result is 83% in this example. And it's actually measured by weighting every metric here.
Dorian, can you
Yeah.
zoom in a little bit? Is this possible?
Yeah, of course.
So we can read the text. There's the question, identify key concept,
Yep.
plan retrieval strategy, search documents, traverse knowledge graphs. Okay, thank you.
Genau. So we show here the answer is firmly rooted in the knowledge base. So the tool tells us not just how confident it is, but also why. So on this point, I want to give back to you, Ron. So
thank you, Dorian. This was even for me as a computer scientist, and I worked with knowledge graphs in the 90s. Was a lot of technical information. Let me just summarize what I've understood. So the tool searches not flat text, but documents. Of course, the PDFs are the one source and the knowledge graph, as we have seen. And it compares both. If they match, and if they match, the confidence score is higher. And as far as I know, there's no other tool that tells you how confident it is with the answers. So our tool is transparent. If the confidence level goes low, then you might not want to use the answer. But if it's 90 plus, you can use it. And what you have not mentioned, it provides also the sources. So you can click on the PDFs and see the paragraphs the tool has found. And it highlights when it uses so-called general knowledge, which is not part of the document base, coming from the internet or from general knowledge from the large language model, which we might see in the tool demo. So let me switch back to my screen. So at the end of the webinar, we will give you a URL and you can try all of this for free. Here's the screen where you can log in, and here is the button try for free. It will ask you for your name, your email address, and you provide a password, and it will send a verification mail. So it takes 1 or 2 minutes and you are in. I already logged into this tool, and now we will do the live demo. And let me, copy the first question. Which we have seen already, what work products do I need for SW3 at level 2? I logged out. Okay. Can you comment on this, what the tool is doing now? Dorian.
So it's actually tolling the agentic graph rag tool framework we've implemented. So it searches the documents. After it found one entity, it's SPICE-3 in this example. So it decided it has all the information it needs, and then it put out the answer.
Okay, I mean, we started with a fairly simple question.
Yep.
So it had to look up. Here's the link to the reference. It's jumping out a little bit. So it's coming from the ASPICE PAM directly, and here's the answer. These are the output work products which we need, and here are some more which are added for the level 2. We need a plan, records for the performed work, evidence of monitoring, and for process attribute 2.2, requirements for work products, etc. So here's the full list of work products which must be produced. And we have prepared one more strategic question.
Maybe you could say something about the answer quality. So as an ASPICE expert.
Well, we can ask the experts.
Yes,
First of all, 93%. So the tool itself is highly confident that this is correct. Something I mentioned earlier, mixed sources. Where does it start?
Good idea, yeah.
Yeah, here, general knowledge. So this is not coming from any of the documents. Let me shortly tell you which documents we uploaded and analyzed as graphs. First of all, the PAM, as we have seen, and 2 books, The Ultimate Guide for Automotive SPICE, which I wrote with lots of best practices. This book assumes that you know the PAM, so that's why we needed the PAM as well. And the case study ASPICE Lite, which provides more practical examples, templates, and some hints on an order of activities in which you can roll it out. Where do we need to start in a very small team? We might see this in the second question. So far, it has just used the PAM, which is expected. So the next question is, create a roadmap with effort estimate for implementing ASPICE level 1 for the following processes: month 3 project management, sub 1 quality assurance, sub 8 configuration management, sub 10 change request management, and all the software processes. So it's a typical scope for a software project, including work products and activities per process. So this might take a little bit longer. Again, what is the tool doing? Dorian. Dorian?
I hear you.
What is the tool doing for this more complex question?
All right. As you saw in the questions, we have multiple entities. And this is also a point where I can answer your question. What is this tool doing in addition to Claude AI? Because as you see, we have many entities here, and many tools would just choose like main3, for example, SPICE-3, and then it would already give you the answer because it doesn't actually find the entities in the question, just wants to give you an approximation to the answer. With Haskell Rec, you have like 10 sections extracted from the document, and then it will already want to tell you what's happening in the what's happening here, and it thinks it understands the concept, but it actually doesn't, because we have no graphical representation, no relationships actually depicted in a graph structure. And the agentic framework we used actually knows what it has to do to get all the knowledge from the document. We use I can explain it to you in the detail, but it's very refined in this regard. And as you see, it's complete. It won't miss out on anything.
Okay. So other tools, they jump on the first keyword and say, okay, I know something about project management. Let me tell you about project management. And then they start, I call it bubbling. And as you just mentioned, it's complete. Maybe some of you might have noticed there's one process missing from the VDA scope. This is by definition sub 9. We don't need problem resolution management. No, just kidding. Okay, so as asked, it came up with a roadmap, foundation, where to start. Okay, obviously with the supporting process, start with project management, configuration management. It is a very central process, and here it already starts taking things from the ASPICE case study Lite, ASPICE Lite, where to start, quality assurance, and it lists all the work products as it was supposed to do. Of course, it's a long list, and let me show you the actual roadmap. Yesterday it visualized the roadmap, but we have the phases anyway. Phase 1 and phase 4 is the actual phase 3 and 4 is the actual implementation, and phase 4 is the integration and software verification, so the late processes there. And it was asked to come up with efforts, and here are the efforts estimations. Initial setup 3 to 5 days, with half a day or 1 day per week, and for month 3, and so it goes on. In total, 28 to 52 days. So what we have just seen in a few minutes takes experienced consultants. I asked someone just yesterday, a few days to, of course, you need to fine tune it, you need to adapt it to the context, but it's a proper roadmap and you can start implementing it. You just need to do it now. Okay.
One question from the chat. So someone asked how we derive the matrix. So if you click on based on 5 entities on the bottom on this chip there, you will actually see how confident it was in which regard here. So exactly. And it doesn't always show 100% in this regard here in the entities. It was very sure, yeah.
Well, because it was very precise, the question, because we already used the process names. So, of course, it knows the entities for the processes. So why is the document counting only... it's using general knowledge, okay, which I explained earlier. We could find the point where it uses general knowledge, but I would invite you to try it for your own. We will give you a URL now, and you can, as I just showed you, create a login, and then you can try to break the model for yourself.
Yeah, let's do that. There's already one question in the chat.
Let's do the question at the Q&A.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I invite you to, or we invite you to try the demo. You can scan the QR code or use this URL. Can you put this into the chat, Dorian? ASPICE-pro.versal.app. And there's also a webpage, aspice-pro.com, where you get more information. And there is a launch offer. With this code, you will get a discount. So the so-called solo plan is 99 euros instead of 129 per month for the first 20 subscribers. Okay, are there any questions? Now we can go to the questions.
Please generate requirements, metrics for requirements, software engineering 1 for level 1.
Say again, please. I need to switch.
Also, my name is Ernest Wallmüller. Please generate metrics for software engineering 1, also requirements engineering for level 1.
Please generate
metrics for software in SWA1, for level 1.
Okay.
Dorian, kannst du auch mal den Graphen zeigen? Den realen?
Yeah, we can. We can do that in the end, of course.
Sorry,
it should be in English.
Yes, please, English. So what the tool came up with: requirements completeness rate, software requirements with all mandatory attributes filled, divided by the number of software requirements times 100. So it's calculating percent, target 95 per baseline. I think that's pretty important. If you do iterative development per baseline, you need to achieve 95 plus. So, are you convinced, Ernest?
I have already tested the different boats, and
okay,
it's interesting to get different answers. And maybe it's interesting to make some tests for different boats, ASPICE boats. Huh?
Okay, and actually, we are happy to get your feedback. If you say this is gibberish what the tool is providing, please tell us so we can improve.
I have a fun one.
Okay, go ahead. One.
I asked two simple questions. First of all, to say what SAP9 is. So it gave me a good definition. But then I asked it if it knows what ISO 22989 chapter 2.4.10.1.0 says. Which is the funny part, because this standard is defining the hallucination for AI models. And it says that it doesn't have this type of chapter.
Okay.
Maybe I asked it wrong, but it was funny.
Yeah, exactly. If it doesn't have the information, it will likely say it doesn't have this information. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
but my
like
question,
we prompted it. Yeah.
My question was, why do LLMs are hallucinating? I mean, I can understand ChatGPT or Claude or any other the items that may be hallucinating because they are programmed to deliver the answers, right? I even challenged a lot of models myself. Why did you give me this answer when you actually didn't know? Because this is how I was programmed. And I said, can you make it that you will not do these types of answers with me? He said the answer was, I can do it personalized for your answers per your account, not per the general response. So I don't know.
Then
maybe
it doesn't work, does it?
But what does this Carayon platform mean? Is this the LLM on which this tool is based, or?
That's a question to Dorian.
Yeah, it's a platform I'm providing. I'm working together with Ron, and I provide the platform, yeah, and I'm currently founding or in the new future, and this will be what I will offer, yeah.
Okay, great. So
it's
the LLM
powered,
itself, yeah,
powered by Carrion. The content is by me, and the technology, the software, and the you can correct me, Dorian, the configuration is provided by you, which says, for example, if you don't know, then don't try to please the user by generating something.
exactly. That's what I want to see in an AI model. To say, I don't know, right?
This is actually working quite good here.
Oh, okay,
maybe
great.
And you can provide.
No, but it's not too conservative. It's very intelligent, so it will find a middle ground.
Okay, thank you.
Can you also generate the answers in German?
Yeah, it's totally language agnostic. We haven't tested in Hindi or Spanish, but it should also work.
Deutsch reden. I logged out again, sorry. As I said, you can try it for yourself. You have 5 questions, so choose the questions wisely. But as Dorian said, yes, it understands German question. I'm not sure about the terms. I've not tried, I have to admit. If the, I don't know, software and requirements, of course, you could translate to Anforderungen, but there might be some terms which are not easily translated. Maybe they stay the same. I have to try, yeah. Okay, as I said, you can try for yourself, ask the tool any of the questions, up to 5. And the question is, are there any more comments, questions, on the technology or to the tool?
I have one question, please.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The tool, maybe you thought in the future what you're planning to do with this tool, but applicability for real project. How does that currently, is that something you're looking into?
Yes,
using it in future?
Definitely. Actually, let me try to answer in a diplomatic way. This is the minimum viable product. Technically, you can upload documents and you can ask for a review, and we are considering to provide rating recommendations to an assessor or assessment simulation. There's so many use cases, but we need to start somewhere. And if this doesn't work, very simple answer and question and answer, then we don't need to go any further. Actually, I have written a book about ASPICE use cases along the V model. So how can you generate requirements from this system architecture, etc. And of course, I have a chapter on the use of AI during assessment on the assessor side. So can he check documents which he got provided by the projects, and can the projects prepare using AI? And yes, it's possible, and we are considering that. Yes. Okay. So
again, to the price. What is the price?
Yes,
99 euro.
I was asking, waiting for the question. Yes.
99 euro per month, yes. Or what are the pricing?
Yes, it's subscription based because, as you know, AI is very expensive. And here's an overview. It starts with the so-called solo plan, one user. The list price is 129, and as I mentioned, the first 20 subscribers get it for 99 euro per month forever, using this voucher or discount voucher on the checkout. Oh, someone already booked. Okay, interesting. And then we have team plans. If you have a team of software team, 5 users can ask question in parallel. And how does it work? The team leader purchases the plan, and then he or she can invite the people on their own. So that's the pricing. Does this answer your question? There's another question. Go ahead, Andrei and Alexander.
Hello.
Andrei
Can you hear
first.
me?
Yes.
Oh, super. I'm on the headset. Yeah. At this price, can you develop, like in SAP or other tools, new functionalities at request? For example, if my company dreams that it exists in ASPICE Pro a button, you upload a C file and it analyzes the code and says the maturity, if it's well written, if it's maintainable, stuff like that.
The use cases, like we described, you can ask any questions as you've seen about ASPICE. So it's knowledge base, so to say. What I would propose that we have a meeting where we discuss how this tool can be developed for your use case internally. There will be a link for the meeting in the email which comes tomorrow morning. With the recording, have a meeting link which you can use, and we have a short meeting, and then we will clarify what are your needs. Technically,
it was just a curiosity. Yeah.
Yes.
It can be developed.
That's why the question about the Carrion platform was very nice. The AI platform can be used for many use cases. This is just one at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
And Alexander.
Unmuted works better. Hello. Thank you for the demo. Thank you for the really great demo and for your tries to really ease the lives of people who are working in that field. I have a bit of the practical perspective question related to the information security. And it also touches upon TSAX regulations, AI regulations, and so on. Maybe I've lost it, maybe I missed it, and I haven't heard it, sorry for that. But the question is, can it be isolated, dedicated to a company so that whatever questions put to the chat, whatever artifacts uploaded and analyzed are not interfered with any other customers of yours? So is that feature already done? Is that in the roadmap that you can provide it dedicated to a company so company can use it on their own?
Let me answer with the current architecture. The server is in Germany, the web server. However, it uses a very powerful large language model. Dorian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, needs a lot of power. So I think it's technically possible, but it needs dedication. So you need to set up the IT infrastructure internally. Again, I would propose that we have a meeting and to discuss how we can achieve this. But technically, it should be possible, Dorian.
And the plans are already there. I actually already made a roadmap about this for progressing the platform by.
Because we are aware of this. Yeah.
So for personal use, that would be really. It is great already, but for corporate use, it might require that obligations and constraints, right?
Yeah. We could also offer it as a private cloud solution or directly on premise. It's not very hard to do. Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, thank you.
Laurent.
Dorian, don't forget to show the graph.
Yeah, let's do it, of course.
Mm.
Ron, maybe you do it. You already have it open. You just log in as an admin.
Different browser. Laurent, your question.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a possibility to connect the tool to a trace tool for assessments.
At the moment, no. We might need to talk to Peter from Sharpen how to connect. Maybe they have their own ideas how to integrate AI into trace. At the moment, no.
I think documentation, there is something about AI.
Okay,
I don't deep dive, but I see something. So perhaps there are some possibilities.
And Fabio.
Yes. First of all, apologies if I missed this information at the beginning of your presentation. But do you have any approval of these tools by the main German OEMs or by VDA? I am asking this by from the perspective of an auditor or an assessor. Imagine that during an assessment, I find some partial level, and the organization said me, but ASPICE Pro tell me to do in that way. How can I answer?
So let me rephrase the use case. Providing answers to questions. It's not about rating. Of course, it provides recommendations, what to do. This is where the confidence level comes into play again. So we, if it says 80% or even less, maybe you should consider talking to a human consultant and not rely on the tool. But the work products, they are defined by the standard, as we've seen for simple questions. So you just need to follow to be compliant. To answer your question, no, there's no certification by any of the OEMs. Maybe some of them are on the call and we can start using them. And neither from a VDA. We might talk to the VDA if they like this tool or this approach.
Okay, thank you.
And Ernest.
What would you say, what are the advantages of your tool?
That's a brilliant question. I mean, some of you might be shocked by the price, but it replaces consultants. It's your consultant and at your fingertip. You can ask the tool questions about ASPICE anytime during 24/7, and it's actually cheaper. You can ask for an offer for a consultant, and they will do a consultant project over weeks and months and give you similar answers.
Exactly.
Kalin, this is an outdated information. There is no limit.
Really? Because I see
yes,
the plan
in
the tool itself. It says so.
Yes, yes. No,
which is a bit weird.
What do you think if you make the idea of a new another price model that someone makes another question. If you think of another price model, if someone has an assessment and you can give him the license maybe for 3 weeks, and would be also a possibility.
Yes, yes. I forgot to mention, thank you very, very much for reminding him. We might not have a look at the graph. We have no time anymore. this is the starting point, the price model. I think, first of all, on the products, we have already assessment prep. So this goes into the direction what you just mentioned. Okay, a limited time, we need to prepare for an assessment. Let's buy the tool for and there to we kept the pricing very simple at the moment. Monthly, if you need quarterly prices for 3 months, talk to us. If you need yearly prices, talk to us.
Okay.
We try to keep it simple because it's a lot of administration in the background to maintain all the prices and to make it work. For
because the idea behind the question is that on the tool basis now for such tools, there's a lot of things happens.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of tool peers, and I think in half a year the tools look different than now.
Yeah.
I think so, and there's a lot of movement in this development.
Yes. We are definitely aware of this. Last question from Beate.
Thank you, Ron, for the nice presentation. On one side, we have the standards and questions like you've shown to describe what has to be done for any of these engineering processes is nice, just based on the processes. But you mentioned that it helps me to rate my project, for example. Then I have to connect all my project results.
To be clear, no, there is no rating recommendation at the moment.
Okay.
It's out of scope.
Okay.
Maybe
So
I was not.
It's just based on the standards. It doesn't really analyze my work products or
yet.
Okay.
It's on
in
the
the testing
roadmap.
stage, you currently can upload documents based on that, yes, but yeah, it's just based on the context.
Okay, so it's limited. It's not then questions are questions possible like analyze my requirement specification, what is missing to reach full SPICE level 2 for these requirement specification, for example?
Well,
this is currently possible, yeah.
Okay.
Copy and paste your requirement specification. It gives you feedback.
No, not copy and paste. You can also upload it or just paste it. Yeah.
I cannot find the model.
Understood.
Let's close it, I would say. So 49 people are left. Thank you very much for your attention, for the intense discussion, for the interest in this tool. And yes, as Ernest was saying, there's so much happening just now, and yes, we contribute to this.
We are moving fast, yeah.
Yes. Camelia, I would like to close. Tomorrow in the email there will be a booking link, so we can continue discussion one-to-one, and we can talk about 27,001 information security is a topic, definitely. And as Dorian mentioned, it's technically possible. If your company wants this, we can talk about on-premise. That's possible. Okay, thank you very much. I have no announcement for the next webinar yet. It might be at the beginning of May about our favorite topic, traceability with Thorsten. It's not scheduled yet, but we have found this webinar, so we will announce it on LinkedIn and via the newsletter. Beginning of May, it might happen. So hopefully see you in the next webinar. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.